Man City win the FA Cup after I would say a good game between Chelsea and Manchester City at Wembley, and of course, is not a good day being a Chelsea fan once again. But I think we all expected it. Manchester City go ahead to win the game by 1-0. Game coming late in the second half, I believe in the 72nd minute, by a beautiful flick on by Antoine Semenyo. Hi, my name is Chidi, and thanks and welcome to Chidi Asoh Takes. And before we continue, if you're not subscribed to the channel, do us a favor and smack that subscribe button. Okay, share this, and of course, we want to hear from you what you think about the game and other news that have been coming up involving Chelsea. So, FA Cup Finals. Well, another win by Pep Guardiola. You got to give it to him. He's possibly one of the greatest managers out there. We know in the game against Crystal Palace, he rested most of his players, and I would think he was kind of disappointed because they didn't show up like he thought they will. Everybody, I'm thinking, would have thought Manchester City was going to destroy Chelsea today, but it didn't happen. Chelsea was ready, kind of defensive in nature type of game, and we're going to look at the lineups, okay, and see what happened. But for Manchester City, they had Haaland. Of course, Mamouche started the game ahead of Cherky. They had Doku and Semenyo completing that four-man attack line. In the midfield, they had Silver and Rodri. And of course, in the defensive line, they had, the same people, O'Reilly, Nunes, Maguire, and Kushnev. So I think they were kind of balanced, but they didn't really do something they didn't really do much to Chelsea in the first half. It was kind of balanced, okay, between the two teams. For Chelsea, it was a 3-5, a 3-4-3 kind of formation. This was the same kind of formation that McFarlane played against Liverpool that worked for them. They had a draw, but of course, this is Manchester City. They are in a different class. They are a little bit stronger. So in the defense line, they had that three defense line of Kowe, Fofana, and Hato. I thought Hato was very, very good. He's been one of the shining lights in this season for Chelsea among a lot of disappointments. But Colwill, you can see he's come in and he's really, brought in some kind of stability with the Chelsea defense. Yes, we did concede a goal, but hey, what team doesn't concede a goal even with the best defenders? And in the, following up in the midfield, you had Gusto, James, Caicedo, and Cucurella kind of forming that front four ahead of the defensive line. And you notice most of the time when Manchester City had the ball, Gusto and Cucurella were always coming back to make to form a five-man defensive wall, and Cole Palmer was always coming to support Malo Gusto. Reece James and Caicedo tucking the middle right there, and I thought they controlled the midfield a lot of the times, even with Rodri playing right there. And in the attack for Chelsea, we had Cole Palmer, uh, Enzo Fernandez, and João Pedro. So, all in all, it was a good team for both sides, but clearly one team was favored to win, and one team had the momentum. And not only that, one team had been, I don't know, the positive energy, okay? Because you look at the game that we played today, Chelsea had more defensive minded players in that team, and maybe only three or four attack minded people in that team. And I'm talking about João Pedro, Paulo Palma, and Fernandez. And but even at that, Palma was always kind of coming back to track Doku and support Gusto, which didn't help because he's back there, and who is who is up there supporting João Pedro. Uh, there was a couple of things in the game that kind of requested VR to look at, but it ended up being nothing. Overall, I thought the setup for the team, for the Chelsea team, was good. We held on to the game for a long time, but of course, Manchester City in the second half, they made some changes. Cherky coming in, and I think it was who came in for Kusinov? I think it was somebody else that came in. Marcin Kovacic. He came in the second half also to replace Rodri, and basically that really changed the game. So you could say yes, it was expected. Manchester City was supposed to win this game. Chelsea held their own, but oh my goodness, it's been a disappointing season for Chelsea. And I know how a lot of Chelsea fans are feeling right now because there's really nothing to show for this season. We had a chance last after the season last year and winning the Club World Cup to go into the market and really and really invest in some quality players in both the defense and attack areas. But the owners did not do this, and it's not been good so far. All right, it's not been good so far. Statistically, it was overall. I thought the game was not fire powered like we all believe a final should be. Compare that to the game in the Champions League between PSG and Bayern Munich in the first leg, which was a free flowing football. Of course, a lot of goals conceded, but in this game it was more of a steady game. Let's not, make too much mistakes. Uh, don't go too far. Tip it, kind of tempered kind of play to make sure that you don't lose the game. But somebody was going to lose the game, and unfortunately, it's Chelsea. So when it comes to the stats for the game, shots on goal, of course, Manchester City had more shots on goal, four against Chelsea's one. When it comes to attempt to shoot, it was a little bit even, seven to Chelsea and nine for Manchester City. Chelsea committed more fouls in this game, had more yellow cards. The corner kicks, I believe, was about the same. I think the keeper who had more saves was probably Robert Sanchez because they kept on coming. They kept on coming. So for Chelsea, the the it's not been a great season. It's been one of the worst seasons ever. I don't know where we're gonna go from here because we are possibly not going to qualify for Europe. It might turn out to be a good thing because look at teams who are not in the European League, either the UEFA Conference Cup or Champions League. They're doing very well in the league, aka Manchester United. They had only the FA Cup. They had the FA Cup. They had the and they were knocked out early, but the Carabao Cup. But since then, they've been playing one game a week and they've been doing very, very well. Hell, they for the past 1 or 2 months, they've been the best side in the league currently. Because they've won all their games, they've beaten everybody, maybe one or two setbacks. But you know what I'm trying to say? They had more chance to rest the players were fit. So whenever they go anytime to play any team, they were very, very good. So maybe this could be a blessing in disguise if Chelsea doesn't end up going to Europe. It's going to be disappointing because most Chelsea fans want nothing but European Cup competitions. They want European trophies, um, but we're not going to get that because the mistakes that were done in the beginning of the season is what we are reaping right now. When the owners decide that this is the model we're going to do, this is exactly what we're going to do. We're not going to allow the managers to have much say in who they want, or we're not going to give them what they want. We're going to go with what AI tells us, what the data says that, oh, this 16-year-old is going to be fantastic in the next few years. Okay, let's go for him because he's going to be a star in the next few years, maybe 3, 4, 5 years. That's exactly what we're doing, and we are reaping from that mistakes that we sowed in the beginning. Could it be that if Chelsea had gone ahead to, after winning the Club World Cup, gone ahead to buy more players, maybe three or four more players that are quality and experience, I don't think we would have had this kind of season. But here we are. We are completely out of it. We've lost the game. Even the game today, you could see there was no real, identity in the game. Everybody was playing based on maybe a certain kind of formation, but it was tempered. It was slow. You know, no real belief that we're going to win this game. And unfortunately, of course, we lost the game. So, but let me know what you think about all that in the comments. Do you think that with the new coach coming in, if it's going to be Jabi Alonso, do you think he can work with this same squad of players and turn around our fortunes going forward? I think if he's the new coach, he probably should be given uh, opportunity to decide what kind of players he will want. Now, if they go and get that player for him, that's good. But I think the manager or the head coach should be able to say, okay, I want this kind of player, no matter who it is, as long as they meet this kind of quality, skill, or they play this way, they can go ahead and use their AI data, whatever, and search for that kind of a player with that age range that he wants. And, maybe that could help because honestly, yes, there are a lot of potentials in this Chelsea team, but they, we've not seen the best of them because they've either been, you know, injured or not having the right coach or playing in the wrong positions. I mean, think about it. For the past 1 or 2 years, every single year now, we have one or two players that I think that comes up from the team, and the other ones are kind of silenced. When Cole Palmer came into this team, the first season, the second season, he was outstanding. But this season, we've not seen a lot about Cole Palmer. Kai said the same thing. This season, you could argue that players like uh, Enzo Fernandez, even this guy now, Jarahato, they are standouts. Okay, of course, the captain has always been a standout. Cole Palmer has had a terrible season, so you could see that there are potentials in the team, but we just need the right coach, okay, and the right leaders in the team that can really, really help push these lads to go and give it all. Because sometimes you see them, they are young, they play a certain way, and the next day they don't show up. They have to understand that in this competition, the Premiership, whatever it is, you have a Champions League. Um, you need to be consistent every single day, every single time that you get on that field. All right. So it's congratulations to Manchester City. It's been a terrible run for Chelsea, uh, but I think next season we got to give it a go again. For now, we just have to make do with what we have. Uh, top probably going. I don't even know if we're going to make top seven. So you know, basically, uh, no European Championship or competition. But let me know what you think about that. Do you think that if Chelsea does not qualify for any European competition, it will make us better next season? And finally, what are your thoughts on Alonso, Javi Alonso? Do you think he'll be the right man? Okay, I won't be surprised if this in the next few days, if we hear news that Alonso has been given the managerial position. Oh my God! All right, so let me know what you think about it in the comments, and if you're not subscribed, do us a favor and subscribe. I need to go get me some water. Okay, thanks, and up the Chelsea.